About 30% of Americans now have fatty liver disease, but you probably don't know if you're one of them. This silent condition continues its upward trend in 2025, affecting nearly 30% of the population according to the latest medical data. What's even more shocking is that one food you've been told is healthy for decades is actually destroying your liver from the inside out. Today I'm revealing the 5 most dangerous foods causing liver fat accumulation, including that supposedly beneficial food that's been marketed as detoxifying. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which foods to start cutting these foods now. But first, you need to understand just how serious this health crisis has become. The shocking 2025 numbers behind this health crisis. Recent meta-analysis reveals that approximately 38% of adults globally now have fatty liver disease, a dramatic increase from around 25% in 1990. This means roughly 100 million Americans currently carry dangerous levels of fat in their liver cells, often without realizing the ticking time bomb inside their bodies. The American Liver Foundation confirms this represents one of the most significant public health crises of our time. The pandemic years accelerated this upward trend through reduced physical activity and increased processed food consumption. Since 2020, Bayesian forecasts show a 2 to 3% annual increase in cases as lockdowns forced millions into sedentary lifestyles while stress eating became the norm. People consumed unprecedented amounts of processed foods, delivery meals, and comfort foods loaded with liver-toxic ingredients. CDC data shows moderate alcohol consumption increases during the pandemic, but dietary changes remain the primary driver of liver fat accumulation rather than alcohol consumption. Food manufacturers capitalized on this crisis by flooding the market with ultra-processed convenience foods. These products contained concentrated amounts of high fructose corn syrup, damaged vegetable oils, and chemical preservatives that specifically target liver cells. The average American now consumes 17 teaspoons of added sugar daily, with much of this coming from processed foods that don't even taste sweet. This sugar overload forces the liver to convert excess fructose directly into fat through a metabolic pathway called de novo lipogenesis. The 60 to 75 age demographic faces even more alarming statistics. Current data shows that 38% of Americans in this age group now have hepatic steatosis, compared to 32% just 3 years ago. This represents the highest rate ever recorded for this population. The combination of age-related metabolic slowdown, medication use, and decades of dietary damage creates a perfect recipe for liver fat accumulation. Many people in this group take multiple medications that stress liver function while maintaining eating patterns established in their younger years when their metabolism could handle more dietary abuse. What makes these numbers particularly frightening is the silent nature of this disease. Unlike a heart attack or stroke, liver fat accumulation produces no dramatic symptoms. Most people feel completely normal while their liver cells slowly fill with toxic fat deposits. The liver contains no pain receptors, so you cannot feel the damage occurring. By the time symptoms appear, such as fatigue, abdominal discomfort, or elevated liver enzymes, the condition has often progressed to more serious stages. Early detection becomes critical because the liver possesses remarkable regenerative abilities when caught in time. Unlike other organs, liver cells can completely regenerate and restore normal function if the toxic load is removed before permanent scarring occurs. This window of opportunity closes as the condition progresses from simple fat accumulation to inflammation and eventual fibrosis. The difference between reversible liver fat and permanent liver damage often comes down to months or even weeks of continued toxic exposure. The medical community now recognizes specific foods as primary drivers of this epidemic. Research has identified particular ingredients that overwhelm the liver's processing capacity and trigger immediate fat storage within liver cells. These substances bypass normal metabolic safeguards and deliver concentrated toxic loads directly to liver tissue. The most dangerous foods combine multiple liver-damaging compounds, creating synergistic effects that accelerate fat accumulation beyond what any single ingredient could achieve alone. Leading hepatologists now describe this situation as a silent pandemic within a pandemic. The COVID-19 crisis overshadowed the equally serious liver health crisis developing simultaneously. Hospital systems focused on acute COVID cases, while millions of Americans unknowingly developed a condition that kills more people annually than many widely recognized diseases. Emergency rooms see increasing numbers of patients with acute liver problems, many with no prior knowledge of their underlying liver fat accumulation. The liver processes every substance that enters your bloodstream, from nutrients to toxins to medications. When overwhelmed with liver-toxic foods, this vital organ begins storing fat as a protective mechanism. Initially, this fat storage helps buffer the toxic load, but it quickly becomes the problem itself. Fat-filled liver cells cannot perform their essential functions of detoxification, protein synthesis, and metabolic regulation. This creates a cascade of health problems that extend far beyond the liver itself. Removing these toxic foods can halt and reverse this process within weeks. The liver's unique regenerative capacity means that eliminating the source of damage allows rapid healing to begin. Liver function tests improve even faster, with some markers normalizing within the first week of dietary intervention. However, one supposedly healthy food accelerates liver damage in millions of unsuspecting Americans. This food has been promoted by health experts for decades and appears in countless diet plans and wellness programs. Marketing campaigns have convinced consumers that this food supports liver health and aids detoxification, while research now shows it can cause severe liver toxicity when consumed in typical amounts. People consume this food believing they are supporting their health while unknowingly poisoning their liver cells. The tragic irony is that many individuals taking this supposed liver-supporting food are actually accelerating their progression toward liver failure. Recent case studies document previously healthy adults developing acute liver toxicity from consuming this widely recommended food in normal amounts. Understanding your current liver status provides the foundation for effective intervention. Ultrasound can detect mild, moderate, and severe fat accumulation with grades 1 to 3 representing fat percentages of 5 to 33%, 34 to 66%, and over 66% respectively, though your doctor should provide exact grading. Without knowing your starting point, you cannot track improvement or adjust your approach based on severity. The problem is that most people rely on standard testing that completely misses early liver damage. Essential tests every person over 60 needs now. Your routine blood work might be giving you false reassurance about your liver health. Most doctors order standard liver enzyme tests like ALT and AST during annual checkups, but these basic tests miss liver fat accumulation in the majority of cases. Harvard research confirms that up to 80% of patients with normal liver enzyme levels can still have fatty liver disease. This creates a dangerous situation where people believe their liver is healthy based on normal blood work while fat continues accumulating in their liver cells. The standard liver panel includes ALT, AST, alkaline phosphatase, and bilirubin levels. ALT measures alanine aminotransferase, an enzyme that leaks from damaged liver cells into the bloodstream. AST tracks aspartate aminotransferase, another enzyme released when liver cells break down. GGT, or gamma-glutamyl-transferase, indicates bile duct problems and alcohol-related liver damage. However, these enzymes only elevate after significant liver cell damage has already occurred. Fatty liver disease begins with fat accumulation inside healthy liver cells, which doesn't immediately damage the cell walls enough to release these enzymes into the blood. Your liver enzymes can remain completely normal while fat deposits slowly fill your liver cells. This happens because the liver cells continue functioning even when partially filled with fat. The enzymes only spill into your bloodstream when the cells become damaged or die, which occurs in later stages of the disease. By the time your blood work shows elevated liver enzymes, you may have progressed from simple fat accumulation to liver inflammation or even early scarring. Ultrasound is the first test for fat in the liver. For higher accuracy, your doctor may order elastography or MRI-based methods. The ultrasound machine sends sound waves through your liver, and fat-filled areas reflect these waves differently than healthy liver tissue. This creates distinct patterns on the screen that trained technicians can identify and measure. Ultrasound can detect liver fat accumulation weeks or months before it shows up in blood tests, providing crucial early detection. The ultrasound grading system classifies liver fat into 3 main categories based on severity. Grade 1 fatty liver shows mild fat accumulation, typically affecting less than 33% of liver cells. The liver still functions normally at this stage, and the condition remains completely reversible with dietary changes. Grade 2 fatty liver involves moderate fat accumulation, affecting 33 to 66% of liver cells. This stage requires more aggressive intervention, but still responds well to dietary elimination of toxic foods. Grade 3 fatty liver represents severe fat accumulation affecting more than 66% of liver cells. This stage carries higher risk for progression to liver inflammation and requires immediate, complete elimination of all liver toxic foods. If you're over 60, diabetic, or overweight, ask your doctor for a liver ultrasound or fibroscan to check for fat or scarring. People over 60 face the highest risk for developing fatty liver disease due to accumulated dietary damage, slower metabolism, and medication effects. The liver's regenerative capacity decreases with age, making early detection even more critical. Many seniors take multiple medications that stress liver function while maintaining eating habits established decades earlier when their metabolism was more resilient. Age-related changes make liver fat accumulation more dangerous in seniors. Muscle mass naturally decreases with age, reducing the body's ability to process glucose and forcing more sugar processing onto the liver. Hormonal changes affect fat distribution, increasing visceral fat around organs including the liver. Chronic low-grade inflammation common in aging creates an environment where liver fat accumulation accelerates. These factors combine to make seniors particularly vulnerable to rapid progression from early fat accumulation to advanced liver disease. The danger zone measurements that indicate immediate intervention include ALT levels above 40 IU/L, AST above 35 IU/L, or GGT above 50 IU/L in men or 30 IU/L in women. Ultrasound findings of grade 2 or grade 3 fatty liver require immediate dietary changes regardless of enzyme levels. A liver fat percentage above 15% on advanced imaging indicates high risk for progression to liver inflammation. These measurements signal that the liver's capacity to handle toxic foods has been exceeded and continued exposure will cause permanent damage. Regular monitoring during recovery shows how quickly the liver responds to eliminating toxic foods. ALT and AST levels often improve within the first week of removing liver toxic foods, even before fat reduction becomes visible on imaging. GGT levels drop more slowly but provide good markers for tracking inflammation reduction. Ultrasound improvements typically appear within 2 to 3 weeks, with grade 3 fatty liver often improving to grade 2 within a month of strict dietary intervention. Your specific liver fat grade determines how aggressively you need to eliminate the upcoming toxic foods. Grade 1 fatty liver may respond to eliminating the most dangerous foods while allowing occasional consumption of less toxic options. Grade 2 fatty liver requires complete elimination of all 5 toxic food categories with no exceptions during the recovery period. Grade 3 fatty liver demands the strictest approach, eliminating not only these foods but also borderline foods that healthy livers can typically handle. Understanding these test results becomes critical because your liver handles an enormous workload that most people never consider. Every substance entering your body must pass through this vital organ for processing, and the modern world has created an unprecedented burden that's pushing millions of livers beyond their breaking point. Why your liver is under attack like never before. Your liver works overtime processing every substance you consume, from the morning coffee you drink to the medications you take at bedtime. This remarkable organ performs over 500 different functions every day, working around the clock to keep you alive. The liver breaks down toxins, produces essential proteins, stores vitamins and minerals, and regulates blood sugar levels. It manufactures bile to digest fats, creates blood clotting factors to prevent bleeding, and processes hormones throughout your body. No other organ works this hard or handles this many critical functions simultaneously. Modern society has created an unprecedented assault on liver function. Many processed foods contain additives and oils linked to liver inflammation, per Cleveland Clinic guidelines. High fructose corn syrup appears in over 40,000 food products, forcing the liver to process massive amounts of this liver-toxic sweetener daily. Industrial seed oils heated to extreme temperatures during processing create toxic compounds that accumulate in liver tissue. Food preservatives, artificial colors, and flavor enhancers add to the toxic burden that your liver must neutralize every single day. The liver responds to this toxic overload by storing fat inside liver cells as a protective mechanism. When overwhelmed with substances it cannot quickly process or eliminate, the liver converts excess toxins and sugars into fat deposits within the hepatocytes. This fat storage initially helps buffer the toxic load and prevents immediate damage to other organs. The liver essentially sacrifices itself to protect your brain, heart, and other vital organs from poisoning. However, this protective mechanism quickly becomes the primary threat to your health. Fat-filled liver. Cells cannot perform their essential functions efficiently. As fat accumulates inside hepatocytes, it physically crowds out the cellular machinery responsible for detoxification, protein synthesis, and metabolic regulation. The liver's ability to neutralize toxins decreases as more cells become packed with fat deposits. This creates a vicious cycle where reduced detoxification capacity leads to more toxin accumulation, which triggers additional fat storage in liver cells. Eventually, the liver becomes so compromised that toxins begin circulating throughout your body unchecked. This cascade of dysfunction affects every system in your body because the liver controls so many vital processes. Hormone production becomes disrupted when fat-filled liver cells cannot properly metabolize estrogen, testosterone, and thyroid hormones. Blood sugar regulation fails as insulin resistance develops from inflammatory signals released by fat-laden liver cells. Protein synthesis decreases, leading to muscle wasting and reduced immune function. Bile production declines, causing digestive problems and nutrient deficiencies that affect energy production at the cellular level. The connection between liver fat and insulin resistance creates a dangerous pathway toward diabetes development. Fat accumulation in liver cells triggers chronic inflammation that interferes with insulin signaling pathways. The liver becomes resistant to insulin's effects, leading to elevated blood sugar levels and increased insulin production by the pancreas. This insulin resistance spreads to muscle and fat tissue throughout the body, setting up the metabolic dysfunction that characterizes type 2 diabetes. Research shows that people with fatty liver disease have significantly higher rates of diabetes development compared to those with healthy livers. Chronic inflammation from liver fat extends far beyond metabolic problems to affect cardiovascular health, brain function, and immune system performance. Fat-filled liver cells release inflammatory cytokines that travel through the bloodstream to every organ in your body. These inflammatory signals damage blood vessel walls, increase blood pressure, and promote arterial plaque formation. The brain experiences this inflammation as decreased cognitive function, memory problems, and increased risk for depression. Your immune system becomes overactive, leading to autoimmune reactions and increased susceptibility to infections. Energy metabolism becomes severely compromised as liver fat accumulation progresses. The liver normally stores glycogen as a readily available energy source and releases glucose when blood sugar drops between meals. Fat-filled liver cells cannot store adequate glycogen, leading to energy crashes and constant cravings for quick energy sources like sugar and refined carbohydrates. The liver's ability to burn fat for energy also decreases, forcing your body to rely more heavily on glucose and creating metabolic inflexibility that makes weight management extremely difficult. The liver's remarkable regenerative capacity makes early intervention incredibly powerful for reversing this damage. Unlike most organs, the liver can regenerate up to 75% of its tissue when given the right conditions. Liver cells can completely eliminate fat deposits and restore normal function within weeks of removing the toxic substances causing the accumulation. This regenerative ability means that even severely fatty livers can return to normal function if the dietary causes are identified and eliminated quickly enough. However, this regenerative window closes as inflammation progresses to scarring and permanent tissue damage. The transition from simple fat accumulation to inflammatory liver disease marks a critical point where intervention becomes more challenging. Scar tissue cannot regenerate like healthy liver cells, making prevention of this progression essential for maintaining the liver's healing capacity. 5 specific categories of foods bear primary responsibility for this widespread liver destruction. These foods contain concentrated amounts of liver-toxic compounds that bypass normal metabolic safeguards and deliver dangerous substances directly to liver cells. The first and most destructive of these foods might shock you because it hides in products you consume every single day. Toxic food number 1. The sweet poison hiding everywhere. High fructose corn syrup stands as the single most dangerous substance you can put into your body when it comes to liver health. This industrial sweetener appears in over 40,000 food products across American supermarkets, making it nearly impossible to avoid unless you read every label carefully. Food manufacturers prefer high fructose corn syrup because it costs less than regular sugar and extends shelf life while creating intense sweetness that triggers food cravings. What they don't advertise is how this sweetener delivers concentrated liver toxicity in every serving. The biochemical difference between fructose and glucose reveals why high fructose corn syrup causes such devastating liver damage. When you consume glucose, your muscles, brain, and other organs can immediately use it for energy through normal metabolic pathways. Glucose gets distributed throughout your entire body, with only about 20% reaching your liver for processing. Your pancreas releases insulin to help cells absorb glucose, creating a regulated system that prevents overwhelming any single organ. Fructose follows a completely different pathway that bypasses these protective mechanisms. 100% of fructose consumption gets sent directly to your liver for processing, creating an immediate toxic burden on this vital organ. Unlike glucose metabolism, fructose processing requires no insulin regulation and faces no feedback mechanisms to slow down the reaction. This means your liver must handle the entire fructose load regardless of its current capacity or health status. The liver processes fructose through the same metabolic pathway used for alcohol, which explains why fructose creates similar liver damage patterns as chronic drinking. Fructose metabolism rapidly depletes cellular energy stores and creates toxic byproducts that damage liver cell membranes. The process consumes large amounts of ATP, the cellular energy currency, leaving liver cells in an energy-depleted state that compromises their normal functions. This energy depletion triggers inflammatory cascades that further damage liver tissue. Excess fructose gets converted directly into liver fat through de novo lipogenesis, a process that transforms sugar into triglycerides within liver cells. When fructose intake exceeds the liver's immediate energy needs, specialized enzymes rapidly convert the excess into acetyl-CoA, the building block for fatty acid synthesis. These newly created fatty acids get packaged into triglycerides and stored directly inside liver cells as fat droplets. This process happens within hours of fructose consumption, making it one of the fastest ways to accumulate liver fat. The average American adult now consumes about 17 teaspoons of added sugar daily, with much of this coming from high fructose corn syrup in processed foods. This represents a 300% increase compared to sugar consumption levels from just 50 years ago. The correlation between rising sugar intake and fatty liver disease rates is unmistakable. As high fructose corn syrup became the dominant sweetener in processed foods during the 1980s and 1990s, fatty liver disease rates began climbing dramatically across all age groups. Hidden sugars in foods that don't taste sweet represent one of the most insidious aspects of modern food production. Ketchup contains high fructose corn syrup as the second ingredient, delivering several teaspoons of liver-toxic fructose in a single serving. Bread manufacturers add high fructose corn syrup to enhance browning and extend shelf life, meaning every sandwich delivers hidden liver toxins. Salad dressings, pasta sauces, and even supposedly healthy yogurt contain significant amounts of added sugars that consumers never suspect. Soup manufacturers routinely add high fructose corn syrup to balance the saltiness and create more appealing flavors. A single can of tomato soup can contain up to 12 grams of added sugar, equivalent to 3 teaspoons of pure fructose hitting your liver. Cured meats like bacon and ham often contain high fructose corn syrup as a curing agent, adding liver toxicity to foods people consider protein sources. Even medications and vitamins frequently contain high fructose corn syrup as a flavoring agent, making it impossible to avoid through diet alone. The liver becomes overwhelmed when processing large amounts of fructose because it lacks the regulatory mechanisms that control glucose metabolism. Fructose bypasses the rate-limiting enzyme phosphofructokinase that normally slows glucose processing when cells have adequate energy. This means fructose metabolism continues at maximum speed regardless of the liver's current energy status or capacity. The result is rapid depletion of cellular energy stores and overwhelming production of toxic metabolic byproducts. Sugar consumption triggers an inflammatory cascade specifically in liver cells through multiple biochemical pathways. Fructose metabolism produces uric acid as a byproduct, which induces oxidative stress and damages cellular structures. The rapid ATP depletion caused by fructose processing activates inflammatory signaling pathways that recruit immune cells to liver tissue. These inflammatory responses create a hostile environment where liver cells struggle to function normally and begin storing protective fat deposits. Restaurant meals present hidden sugar dangers because commercial food preparation relies heavily on pre-made sauces and marinades containing high fructose corn syrup. Barbecue sauce, teriyaki glaze, and sweet and sour sauce deliver massive fructose loads that diners never suspect. Fast food chains use high fructose corn syrup in burger buns, chicken marinades, and even French fry coatings. A single restaurant meal can easily provide a full day's worth of liver-toxic fructose from sources that don't taste particularly sweet. However, high fructose corn syrup represents just one component of the modern assault on liver health. The industrial food system has created an entire arsenal of liver-damaging compounds that work together to overwhelm your body's primary detoxification and their hidden liver bombs. Packaged foods combine multiple liver-damaging ingredients that create toxic effects far beyond their individual components. Food manufacturers systematically blend high fructose corn syrup with industrial seed oils and chemical preservatives to create products that overwhelm liver function while triggering addictive eating patterns. The average processed food contains between 15 and 30 different chemical additives that your liver must neutralize, creating an overwhelming burden that forces protective fat storage within liver cells. Industrial food additives attack liver cells through multiple pathways that disrupt normal cellular function. Monosodium glutamate alters liver enzyme activity and interferes with cellular energy production. Sodium benzoate generates oxidative stress that damages liver cell membranes and DNA. Artificial colors like red 40 and yellow 6 accumulate in liver tissue and trigger inflammatory responses that promote fat storage. These additives work together to overwhelm the liver's detoxification capacity while simultaneously blocking the pathways that normally burn fat for energy. The processing methods themselves generate toxic compounds that natural foods never contain. High-temperature processing creates advanced glycation end products that trigger liver inflammation and accelerate cellular aging. Chemical extraction methods used to create refined oils produce trans fatty acids and oxidized lipids that accumulate in liver tissue. Pressure cooking and extrusion processing create protein crosslinks and damaged amino acids that stress liver detoxification pathways. These processing-induced toxins become chemically bound within the food structure and cannot be removed by washing or cooking. Trans fats represent one of the most dangerous components because they accumulate directly in liver cell membranes. Unlike natural fats that the body can metabolize and eliminate, trans fats become incorporated into cellular structures where they remain for months or years. These artificial fats disrupt normal membrane function and interfere with cellular energy production. The liver cannot effectively remove trans fats once they become embedded in cell membranes, creating permanent structural damage that compromises liver function even after stopping consumption. Damaged oils from industrial processing create lipid peroxidation products that act like cellular rust inside your liver. When vegetable oils are heated to extreme temperatures during processing, they form aldehydes, ketones, and other toxic compounds that poison liver cells. These oxidized lipids trigger inflammatory cascades that recruit immune cells to liver tissue, creating chronic inflammation that promotes fat storage while blocking fat burning. The liver expends enormous amounts of energy trying to neutralize these toxic lipids, leaving fewer resources available for normal metabolic functions. Excessive sodium in processed foods contributes to liver inflammation through mechanisms beyond simple fluid retention. High sodium intake activates inflammatory signaling throughout the body, including liver tissue. Sodium also enhances the absorption of other toxic compounds in processed foods, allowing them to reach higher concentrations in liver cells. The combination of high sodium with damaged oils and chemical additives creates a particularly inflammatory environment that accelerates liver fat accumulation. Emulsifiers and stabilizers commonly found in processed foods disrupt liver cell membranes and interfere with normal cellular communication. Polysorbate 80 and carrageenan alter the permeability of liver cell membranes, allowing toxins to enter cells more easily while impairing the removal of cellular waste products. These additives also disrupt the gut barrier, increasing the absorption of inflammatory compounds that travel directly to the liver through portal circulation. Even supposedly healthy processed foods like protein bars contain liver-damaging ingredients disguised as nutritious options. These products often combine multiple forms of sugar, including high fructose corn syrup, brown rice syrup, and agave nectar to avoid listing sugar as the primary ingredient. They also contain industrial seed oils, artificial flavors, and chemical preservatives that create the same liver toxicity as conventional junk food. The protein content creates a health halo that masks the underlying toxic ingredients, leading health-conscious consumers to consume liver-damaging foods while believing they support their health. The synergistic toxic effect occurs when multiple processed ingredients interact to amplify liver damage beyond what each component would cause individually. High fructose corn syrup depletes cellular energy while damaged oils create inflammation, and this combination overwhelms the liver's repair mechanisms. Chemical preservatives block the enzyme systems that normally neutralize toxins, allowing other harmful compounds to accumulate to dangerous levels. This explains why people who eat processed foods develop liver problems much faster than those consuming equivalent amounts of individual toxic ingredients. Restaurant chains and food service operations rely heavily on processed ingredients to maintain consistency and reduce costs, making it nearly impossible to avoid these toxic combinations when eating out. Pre-made sauces, seasoning blends, and prepared foods all contain the same liver-damaging chemical cocktails found in packaged supermarket products. Even upscale restaurants often use processed bases and commercial preparations that contain industrial additives and damaged oils. The cumulative effect of consuming multiple processed foods throughout the day creates a constant toxic assault on liver function. Breakfast cereals, lunch meat sandwiches, snack foods, and dinner entrees each contribute additional liver toxins that build up throughout the day. The liver never gets a break from processing these industrial chemicals, leading to chronic inflammation and progressive fat accumulation that accelerates with each passing month of continued consumption. When these same toxic ingredients are consumed in liquid form, they create an even more dangerous assault on liver health because liquids bypass many of the body's natural protective mechanisms. Toxic food number 3. Liquid calories that destroy your liver. Sodas and sweetened beverages deliver concentrated liver toxins directly into your bloodstream in ways that solid foods never could. When you drink a 20-ounce soda containing 65 grams of high fructose corn syrup, this massive dose of liver poison reaches your liver cells within 15 to 20 minutes of consumption. The liquid form bypasses your stomach's normal digestive processes and moves straight into your small intestine for immediate absorption. Your portal vein then carries this concentrated fructose load directly to your liver, creating an instant toxic assault that overwhelms your liver's processing capacity. Liquid fructose bypasses every protective mechanism your body has developed to regulate sugar intake. When you eat solid foods containing sugar, your stomach gradually releases the contents into your intestine over several hours. This slow release allows your liver to process incoming sugars at a manageable rate while giving satiety hormones time to signal fullness. Liquid calories eliminate this protective timing mechanism by flooding your system with massive amounts of fructose all at once. Your brain never registers liquid calories as food, which explains why people can drink multiple sodas without feeling full. The satiety hormones leptin and ghrelin respond to solid food consumption, but remain largely unaffected by liquid calorie intake. This hormonal bypass allows you to consume enormous amounts of liver-toxic fructose without triggering the natural fullness signals that would normally prevent overconsumption. You can easily drink 500 to 800 calories worth of liquid fructose while still feeling hungry enough to eat a full meal. Popular beverages contain shocking amounts of high fructose corn syrup that would be impossible to consume in solid form. A single 12-ounce can of regular cola contains 39 grams of high fructose corn syrup, equivalent to nearly 10 teaspoons of pure sugar hitting your liver simultaneously. A 20-ounce bottle increases this to 65 grams, while a large fountain drink can deliver over 80 grams of concentrated liver toxin in one serving. Many people consume multiple servings daily, creating a constant toxic assault that prevents liver recovery. Energy drinks and sports drinks create particularly devastating liver damage because they combine high fructose corn syrup with other liver-stressing compounds. A single energy drink can contain 54 grams of sugar plus caffeine, taurine, and artificial stimulants that further stress liver detoxification pathways. Sports drinks marketed for hydration often contain 35 to 40 grams of high fructose corn syrup plus artificial colors and preservatives that add additional toxic burden. The combination creates synergistic liver toxicity that exceeds what sugar alone could accomplish. The liquid delivery system allows these toxins to reach peak concentrations in liver cells within minutes, rather than the hours required for solid food digestion. This rapid influx overwhelms the cellular machinery responsible for fructose metabolism, forcing liver cells to convert massive amounts of incoming sugar directly into fat storage. The speed of liquid absorption prevents normal metabolic regulation and creates toxic concentrations that would never occur with natural food consumption. Even diet versions contain artificial ingredients that stress liver detoxification pathways through different mechanisms than sugar. Aspartame breaks down into methanol and formaldehyde in your liver, both requiring extensive detoxification resources. To neutralize, sucralose has been shown to alter liver enzyme activity and disrupt normal glucose metabolism. These artificial sweeteners don't directly cause fat storage, but they add significant toxic burden that compromises liver function. Liquid sugars create powerful addiction patterns through their rapid absorption and immediate blood sugar spikes. The quick fructose delivery triggers dopamine release in brain reward centers, creating the same addictive pathways associated with drugs and alcohol. This neurochemical response drives cravings for more liquid calories while simultaneously craving other high-sugar foods. The addiction becomes self-reinforcing as liver damage progresses and blood sugar regulation becomes increasingly unstable. Flavored waters and supposedly healthy drinks often contain hidden liver toxins disguised as natural ingredients. Vitamin water contains 32 grams of sugar per bottle, equivalent to 8 teaspoons of high fructose corn syrup. Coconut water often contains added sugars beyond its natural content. Even some brands of bottled tea contain more sugar than regular soda while marketing themselves as healthy alternatives. The health halo effect makes these beverages particularly dangerous because consumers drink them liberally while believing they are supporting their health. Smoothie chains routinely add fruit juices and sweeteners that can deliver 60 to 80 grams of fructose in a single large serving. Coffee shop beverages combine espresso with flavored syrups containing concentrated sugars that rival dessert-level toxicity. Eliminating liquid calories produces immediate liver fat reduction because it removes the most concentrated source of fructose toxicity from your diet. Within 72 hours of stopping liquid calorie consumption, liver enzyme levels begin improving as the toxic load decreases. Ultrasound imaging shows measurable liver fat reduction within 2 to 3 weeks of eliminating sodas, juices, and sweetened beverages. This rapid improvement demonstrates how severely liquid calories damage liver function. However, the most deceptive liver-toxic beverages come from sources that health experts have recommended for decades as beneficial for your body. Toxic food number 4. The fruit deception damaging millions of livers. Fruit juices represent one of the most deceptive threats to liver health because they masquerade as healthy choices while delivering concentrated liver toxins in every glass. Even products labeled as 100% natural or no sugar added contain dangerous levels of fructose that overwhelm your liver's processing capacity. A single 8-ounce glass of orange juice contains 21 grams of fructose, while a 12-ounce glass delivers 32 grams of this liver-toxic sugar. This represents the same fructose load as drinking a can of soda, yet millions of Americans consume fruit juice daily believing they are supporting their health. The process of removing fiber from fruit creates a liver-toxic substance that bypasses every natural protection mechanism your body has developed over millions of years of evolution. When you eat a whole orange, the fiber creates a protective matrix that slows sugar absorption and prevents overwhelming your liver with concentrated fructose. This fiber also feeds beneficial gut bacteria that produce compounds helping your liver process sugars more efficiently. The pectin in fruit fiber specifically binds to sugars and releases them gradually during digestion, preventing the toxic fructose spikes that damage liver cells. Commercial fruit juice processing destroys these beneficial compounds while concentrating the harmful ones through industrial methods that prioritize shelf life over nutritional value. High-temperature pasteurization eliminates vitamin C, antioxidants, and beneficial enzymes that normally help your body process fruit sugars safely. The heating process also creates inflammatory compounds that add additional toxic burden to your liver. Flash pasteurization and concentrate processing strip away protective polyphenol and flavonoids while leaving behind concentrated fructose that acts like liquid poison in your bloodstream. Drinking fruit juice delivers exactly the same liver damage as drinking soda because both beverages flood your liver with concentrated fructose in liquid form. Your liver cannot distinguish between the fructose in apple juice and the high fructose corn syrup in cola. Both substances follow identical metabolic pathways that overwhelm your liver's processing capacity and force immediate conversion into liver fat. The natural label on fruit juice provides no protection against this toxic assault because fructose damages liver cells regardless of its source. The shocking fructose content comparison between whole fruit and fruit juice reveals the concentrated danger lurking in these supposedly healthy beverages. One medium apple contains about 11 grams of fructose, along with 4 grams of protective fiber that moderates absorption. A single cup of apple juice contains 24 grams of fructose with 0 fiber protection, delivering more than double the liver toxin load. You would need to eat 3 whole apples to match the fructose content of 1 glass of apple juice. But the fiber in those apples would prevent the toxic concentration from reaching your liver. The concentration effect becomes even more dramatic with citrus juices that require multiple fruits to produce a single serving. 1 glass of orange juice contains the fructose from 4 to 5 whole oranges, but none of the protective fiber that would normally slow absorption. This means your liver receives a massive fructose dose within minutes, rather than the gradual release that would occur from eating the actual fruit over several hours. The toxic concentration overwhelms cellular defenses and forces immediate fat storage in liver cells. Fresh squeezed juice prepared at home creates the same liver toxicity as commercial versions because the juicing process itself removes protective fiber regardless of where it occurs. Home juicing machines extract concentrated fructose while leaving behind the pulp that contains beneficial fiber and protective compounds. Many people consume fresh juice believing they are avoiding the processing chemicals in commercial products, but they still deliver the same concentrated fructose load that damages liver cells. Smoothies present an even greater threat because they combine multiple fruits while breaking down cellular structures that normally slow sugar release. A typical fruit smoothie contains 2 to 3 servings of fruit plus additional fruit juices or sweeteners, delivering 40 to 60 grams of fructose in a single serving. The blending process ruptures cell walls and releases sugars that would normally remain bound within fruit tissue. This creates a liquid fructose bomb that overwhelms liver processing capacity within minutes of consumption. Popular smoothie recipes combine high fructose fruits like mangoes, pineapples, and bananas with fruit juices and sweetened yogurt, creating beverages that contain more liver-toxic fructose than multiple cans of soda. Health food stores and juice bars market these smoothies as nutritious meal replacements while delivering concentrated liver toxins that accelerate fat accumulation. The thick consistency fools consumers into believing they are consuming substantial nutrition when they are actually drinking liquid liver poison. The speed of liquid fructose absorption makes fruit juice particularly damaging because it reaches toxic concentrations in liver cells within 15 to 20 minutes of consumption. This rapid delivery prevents your liver from activating protective mechanisms that normally regulate sugar processing. The concentrated fructose overwhelms cellular energy systems and forces immediate conversion into liver fat through emergency metabolic pathways. However, the most shocking liver threat comes from products that millions of people consume specifically believing they support liver detoxification and overall health. Toxic food number 5. The healthy supplement poisoning your liver. Green tea extract supplements represent one of the most shocking betrayals in the health supplement industry. Marketing campaigns have convinced consumers that concentrated green tea extract provides superior antioxidant benefits compared to drinking regular tea, leading people to consume dangerous amounts of liver-toxic compounds while believing they are supporting their health. The supplement industry has taken a beverage that is beneficial in moderation and concentrated it into forms that can cause severe liver damage and even liver failure in previously healthy adults. The concentrated catechins found in green tea extract supplements overwhelm your liver's detoxification pathways through mechanisms that create massive oxidative stress. EGCG, the primary catechin in green tea, becomes toxic when consumed in the concentrated amounts found in supplements, rather than the moderate levels present in brewed tea. These concentrated catechins generate oxidative damage that depletes the cellular antioxidant systems that normally protect liver cells. The irony is devastating because people take these supplements believing they are providing antioxidant protection, while actually creating oxidative damage to their liver cells. Documented cases of liver failure from green tea extract supplements have shocked the medical community because they involve previously healthy individuals with no underlying liver disease. Case reports describe adults developing acute hepatitis within weeks of starting green tea extract supplements, with some requiring emergency liver transplants to survive. These cases typically involve people taking recommended doses of commercially available supplements, not individuals abusing the products or taking extreme amounts. The liver damage progresses rapidly from normal function to liver failure within days or weeks, demonstrating the severe toxicity of concentrated green tea compounds. One particularly alarming case involved a 50-year-old woman who developed fulminant liver failure after taking green tea extract capsules for weight loss over several months. Her liver enzymes skyrocketed to levels typically seen only in severe poisoning cases, and she required immediate hospitalization and consideration for emergency transplant. Laboratory analysis revealed no other cause for her liver failure except the green tea extract supplements she had been taking according to package directions. Moderate green tea consumption provides genuine health benefits because the catechins in brewed tea exist in forms and concentrations that your liver can safely process. Drinking 2 to 3 cups of green tea daily provides antioxidant benefits without overwhelming liver detoxification capacity. The brewing process releases catechins gradually and in combination with other tea compounds that moderate their effects. Regular tea also contains L-theanine and other amino acids that support healthy liver function and help balance the stimulant effects of caffeine. Supplement manufacturers concentrate green tea compounds to dangerous levels by extracting and purifying catechins from large quantities of tea leaves. A single green tea extract capsule can contain the equivalent catechin content of 10 to 15 cups of brewed tea, delivering this concentrated dose all at once rather than spread throughout the day. The extraction process also removes beneficial compounds that normally balance catechin effects, leaving behind isolated compounds that become toxic at high concentrations. Many people unknowingly consume toxic levels of green tea compounds by combining multiple sources throughout their day without realizing the cumulative effect. They might drink several cups of green tea, take a green tea extract supplement with breakfast, and use a weight loss product containing additional green tea extract in the afternoon. This combination can easily provide 5 to 10 times the safe daily intake of catechins, while each individual source appears moderate. Weight loss supplements often contain multiple stimulants along with green tea extract, creating synergistic toxic effects that overwhelm liver function. The supplement industry compounds this danger by marketing green tea extract in combination products that mask the true catechin content. Fat burner supplements combine green tea extract with caffeine, guarana, and other stimulants while emphasizing the metabolism-boosting effects rather than warning about liver toxicity. Multivitamin formulations include green tea extract as an added antioxidant without highlighting that this addition can push total catechin intake into toxic ranges. Green tea-induced liver toxicity causes specific elevations in liver enzymes that indicate severe cellular damage. ALT levels can increase to 10 to 20 times normal values within days of toxic exposure, while AST elevations often exceed 1000 IU/L in severe cases. Bilirubin levels rise rapidly as liver function deteriorates, causing jaundice and dark urine that signals urgent medical intervention is needed. These enzyme patterns mirror those seen in drug-induced liver toxicity and can progress to complete liver failure without immediate intervention. Symptoms that should prompt immediate medical evaluation include fatigue, nausea, abdominal pain, dark urine, light-colored stools, and yellowing of the skin or eyes. These symptoms can develop rapidly over days or weeks, rather than the gradual onset typical of other liver conditions. Anyone taking green tea extract supplements who develops these symptoms should stop the supplements immediately and seek urgent medical evaluation, including liver function testing. The more is better mentality with supplements creates deadly consequences for liver health because people assume natural products cannot cause harm regardless of dosage. Supplement marketing reinforces this dangerous misconception by emphasizing benefits while downplaying risks. People often double or triple recommended doses, believing this will accelerate health benefits while unknowingly pushing catechin intake into severely toxic ranges. Healthcare providers often miss green tea-induced liver toxicity because they do not routinely ask about supplement use during medical evaluations. Patients may not mention green tea supplements when discussing medications because they view them as natural health products rather than potentially dangerous substances. Understanding these 5 toxic food categories reveals only part of the complex picture behind America's liver health crisis. Multiple factors beyond diet contribute to the widespread liver damage behind America's liver crisis today. Liver fat accumulation occurs through 3 distinct pathways that affect millions of Americans regardless of their drinking habits or health status. Understanding these 3 categories helps explain why liver disease rates have exploded across all demographics and provides clear targets for intervention. The first pathway involves alcohol metabolism, where your liver converts alcohol into acetaldehyde, a highly toxic substance that causes immediate inflammation and fat storage within liver cells. When you drink alcohol, specialized liver enzymes convert ethanol into acetaldehyde, a substance so toxic that it causes immediate cellular damage and inflammation. This acetaldehyde must then be converted into acetate before your body can eliminate it safely. But this second conversion step often becomes overwhelmed during heavy drinking episodes. The acetaldehyde accumulates in liver tissue where it binds to cellular proteins and damages cell membranes, while triggering inflammatory responses that recruit immune cells to liver tissue. The alcohol detoxification process depletes essential nutrients, including B vitamins, zinc, and antioxidants that your liver needs for normal function and repair. Chronic alcohol consumption creates a state of ongoing nutritional deficiency that impairs your liver's ability to process other toxins while forcing increased fat storage as a protective mechanism. The combination of toxic byproduct accumulation and nutrient depletion explains why alcohol-related liver disease progresses rapidly and can cause irreversible damage within months of heavy consumption. The second pathway results from medication overuse, particularly among seniors who take multiple prescription drugs that overwhelm liver detoxification capacity. Adults over 60 typically take an average of 4 to 6 prescription medications daily, with many taking 10 or more different drugs to manage multiple health conditions. Each medication requires liver processing for activation, metabolism, or elimination, creating cumulative toxic burden that exceeds your liver's detoxification capacity. The liver must prioritize drug processing over normal metabolic functions, leading to impaired fat burning and increased fat storage within liver cells. Common prescription drugs directly contribute to liver fat accumulation through various mechanisms that doctors rarely discuss with patients. Statins used for cholesterol management can interfere with normal liver metabolism and increase fat storage in liver cells. Proton pump inhibitors taken for acid reflux affect nutrient absorption and liver enzyme function. Pain medications including acetaminophen and prescription opioids require extensive liver processing that depletes cellular energy reserves. Sleep medications accumulate in liver tissue and interfere with normal detoxification cycles that typically occur during rest periods. The polypharmacy problem becomes particularly dangerous when medications interact to amplify liver toxicity beyond what any single drug would cause alone. Taking multiple drugs simultaneously can overwhelm the enzyme systems responsible for drug metabolism, causing medications to accumulate to toxic levels in liver tissue. Some drug combinations compete for the same detoxification pathways, creating bottlenecks that allow toxic substances to build up in liver cells. The third pathway stems from dietary factors, especially the consumption of processed foods and added sugars that force your liver to convert excess nutrients into fat deposits. Metabolic dysfunction-associated steatotic liver disease has become the most common form of liver disease, affecting people who never drink alcohol or take multiple medications. The American Liver Foundation estimates that about 25% of American adults have this dietary form of liver disease, making it more prevalent than alcohol-related liver damage. The condition develops from consuming processed foods, added sugars, and other liver-toxic substances that have become standard components of the modern American diet. The dietary pathway operates independently of alcohol consumption, explaining why even health-conscious non-drinkers can develop severe liver fat accumulation. High fructose corn syrup, processed foods, liquid calories, fruit juices, and certain supplements provide concentrated liver toxins that bypass normal metabolic safeguards. These dietary sources often deliver higher toxic loads than moderate alcohol consumption, while creating the false impression of healthy eating habits. These three causes frequently work together to accelerate liver damage beyond what any single factor could achieve alone. Seniors who take multiple medications while consuming processed foods and occasional alcohol create synergistic toxic effects that overwhelm liver function within months rather than years. The combination depletes liver detoxification capacity while simultaneously increasing toxic load, creating perfect conditions for rapid fat accumulation and progression to liver inflammation. The interaction between dietary toxins and medications creates particularly dangerous situations because both require the same liver enzyme systems for processing. When you consume high fructose corn syrup while taking multiple medications, your liver must choose between drug metabolism and fructose detoxification. This competition allows both substances to accumulate to higher concentrations than would occur with either alone. The dietary cause represents the most controllable and reversible of the three pathways because food choices can be changed immediately without medical supervision or gradual tapering protocols. Reducing medication burden requires careful medical supervision, but this intervention can significantly support liver recovery when done appropriately. Complete alcohol cessation becomes necessary during liver healing because any alcohol consumption prevents optimal recovery and regeneration. Understanding these three pathways enables targeted interventions that address the specific causes affecting each individual. The liver's response to removing these toxic burdens reveals one of the most remarkable healing capacities in the human body: the liver regeneration protocol that works in weeks. Implementing specific dietary changes triggers immediate liver fat mobilization by eliminating toxic substances while providing essential nutrients for cellular repair. When you stop consuming high fructose corn syrup, processed foods, liquid calories, fruit juices, and excessive green tea supplements, your liver immediately stops converting incoming toxins into fat deposits. This cessation allows your liver to shift from defensive fat storage mode into active fat burning and elimination mode. The liver begins breaking down stored triglycerides within liver cells and shipping them out through the bloodstream for elimination or energy use by other organs. Focusing on whole, unprocessed foods provides the foundation for liver recovery because these foods contain the nutrients your liver needs for detoxification and regeneration without adding toxic burden. Fresh vegetables supply sulfur compounds that support liver detoxification pathways, while lean proteins provide amino acids necessary for cellular repair and regeneration. Whole foods also contain natural fiber that supports healthy gut bacteria, which produce compounds that help your liver process toxins more efficiently. The absence of processing chemicals, damaged oils, and concentrated sugars allows your liver to focus entirely on healing rather than managing incoming toxins. Animal proteins and vegetables create the ideal nutritional environment for liver regeneration because they provide complete amino acid profiles and essential nutrients without liver-toxic additives. Wild-caught fish supplies omega-3 fatty acids that reduce liver inflammation while providing high-quality protein for cellular repair. Grass-fed beef and pasture-raised poultry offer B vitamins and minerals essential for liver enzyme function. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and Brussels sprouts contain compounds that specifically support liver detoxification pathways and help eliminate stored toxins. Intermittent fasting accelerates liver fat burning by extending the periods when your liver can focus on fat mobilization rather than processing incoming food. During fasting periods, your liver depletes its glycogen stores and begins breaking down fat deposits for energy production. This metabolic shift forces your liver to utilize stored triglycerides, effectively emptying fat-filled liver cells and restoring normal cellular function. The fasting periods also activate cellular repair mechanisms called autophagy, where damaged cellular components get recycled and replaced with healthy structures. The timing of eating windows becomes critical for maximizing liver fat burning because longer fasting periods create more opportunities for fat mobilization. Extending overnight fasts to 14 to 16 hours allows your liver to complete glycogen depletion and enter fat-burning mode for several hours daily. This consistent fat burning gradually reduces liver fat accumulation while improving insulin sensitivity and metabolic function. The liver becomes more efficient at processing nutrients during eating windows when it has adequate time for fat burning during fasting periods. Exercise forces your liver to mobilize stored fat for energy by creating energy demands that exceed what circulating nutrients can provide. Physical activity rapidly depletes muscle glycogen stores, forcing your body to request energy from liver fat deposits to maintain exercise intensity. This energy demand signals your liver to break down triglycerides and convert them into usable fuel for working muscles. Regular exercise also improves circulation to liver tissue, enhancing the delivery of nutrients needed for cellular repair while facilitating the removal of metabolic waste products. Cardiovascular exercise proves particularly effective for liver fat mobilization because it creates sustained energy demands that require fat burning for fuel. Activities like brisk walking, cycling, or swimming for 30 to 45 minutes force your liver to continuously supply energy from fat stores. Resistance training adds additional benefits by building muscle mass that increases your body's overall energy demands, creating more opportunities for liver fat utilization. Aim for at least 150 minutes of exercise weekly to maximize liver fat burning while supporting overall metabolic health. Complete elimination of the 5 toxic foods becomes absolutely necessary for rapid improvement because even small amounts of these substances can overwhelm your liver's healing capacity. Consuming any high fructose corn syrup, processed foods, liquid calories, fruit juices, or excessive green tea supplements immediately forces your liver back into defensive fat storage mode. The liver cannot simultaneously process these toxins and mobilize stored fat for elimination, making partial elimination ineffective for rapid recovery. Total avoidance allows maximum healing capacity to focus on fat mobilization and cellular regeneration. Ultrasound imaging shows measurable liver fat reduction within 14 to 21 days of implementing complete dietary elimination because fat mobilization begins immediately once toxic intake stops. The liver rapidly shifts from fat storage to fat burning mode, with triglyceride levels in liver cells decreasing by measurable amounts within the first week. Grade 3 fatty liver often improves to grade 2 within 3 weeks, while grade 2 cases may normalize to grade 1 or completely normal within a month. These rapid improvements demonstrate how quickly your liver responds when given proper conditions for healing. Liver function tests improve even faster than imaging changes because enzyme levels respond immediately to reduced toxic load. ALT and AST levels often decrease within 72 hours of eliminating liver toxic foods, with continued improvement throughout the first month. GGT levels drop more gradually but provide excellent markers for tracking inflammation reduction. This approach works effectively even for grade 2 and grade 3 fatty liver because the underlying liver architecture remains intact despite fat accumulation. The rapid improvements create a positive feedback loop where better liver function enhances energy levels, improves sleep quality, and reduces cravings for toxic foods. Understanding exactly when these improvements occur helps maintain motivation during the critical early weeks of recovery. Your 6-week liver recovery action plan. A structured 6-week timeline provides clear milestones showing exactly when to expect improvements in liver function and overall health. Week 1 focuses on immediate damage control by eliminating all 5 toxic foods completely while establishing baseline measurements through symptom tracking and energy monitoring. Week 2 continues the elimination phase while introducing structured eating windows to support liver detoxification cycles. Weeks 3 and 4 typically show dramatic improvements in energy levels, sleep quality, and digestive function as liver fat begins mobilizing rapidly. Weeks 5 and 6 demonstrate the liver's remarkable regenerative capacity with measurable improvements visible on follow-up testing and significant changes in how you feel daily. The immediate steps for week 1 require complete elimination of high fructose corn syrup, processed foods, liquid calories, fruit juices, and green tea supplements without any exceptions or gradual reduction periods. Your liver cannot heal while processing these toxic substances, making total avoidance essential from day 1. Replace eliminated foods with whole proteins like wild-caught fish, grass-fed beef, and pastured poultry along with non-starchy vegetables that provide liver-supporting nutrients. Drink only water during week 1 to eliminate all sources of liquid calories, while your liver begins shifting from defensive fat storage mode into active healing and regeneration. Track your baseline symptoms during week 1, including energy levels throughout the day, sleep quality, digestive function, and any abdominal discomfort or brain fog episodes. Rate your energy on a scale of 1 to 10 at morning, afternoon, and evening to establish patterns that will improve over the coming weeks. Note how many times you wake up during the night and how rested you feel upon waking, as liver function directly affects sleep quality through blood sugar regulation and toxin processing during rest periods. Document any cravings for eliminated foods because these will decrease rapidly as your liver function improves. Gradually extending eating windows starting in week 2 supports liver detoxification by providing longer periods when your liver can focus on fat mobilization rather than processing incoming nutrients. Begin with a 12-hour eating window from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Then extend to 14 hours by eating between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. during week 3. This extension allows your liver to complete glycogen depletion overnight and enter fat-burning mode for several hours before your first meal. The liver processes stored fat most efficiently during extended fasting periods when it doesn't need to handle incoming nutrients. Avoid eating every 3 hours as commonly recommended because frequent meals trigger constant insulin release that promotes liver inflammation and prevents fat mobilization. Your liver needs extended periods without nutrient processing to focus on cellular repair, toxin elimination, and fat burning. Eating within compressed time windows maximizes the fasting periods that drive liver fat reduction while ensuring adequate nutrition during feeding periods. Cardiovascular exercise proves most effective for liver fat mobilization because it creates sustained energy demands that force your liver to break down stored triglycerides for fuel. Walking briskly for 30 to 45 minutes daily depletes muscle glycogen stores and signals your liver to supply energy from fat deposits. Swimming, cycling, or other steady-state activities produce similar effects by maintaining energy demands that exceed what circulating nutrients can provide. The key involves exercising at intensities you can sustain for extended periods, rather than high-intensity efforts that rely primarily on glucose. Resistance training adds significant benefits by building muscle mass that increases your overall energy demands and creates more opportunities for liver fat utilization. Bodyweight exercises like push-ups, squats, and planks require no equipment while effectively stimulating muscle growth and energy expenditure. Weight training 2 to 3 times weekly complements daily cardiovascular exercise by enhancing metabolism and improving insulin sensitivity. Progress tracking involves monitoring both subjective symptoms and objective measures that reflect improving liver function throughout the 6-week period. Energy levels typically improve within 72 hours as your liver stops processing toxic substances and begins normal metabolic function. Sleep quality enhances during week 2 as blood sugar regulation stabilizes and liver detoxification cycles normalize. Digestive function improves by week 3 as liver bile production increases and gut inflammation decreases from eliminating processed foods and added sugars. Follow-up testing after 4 weeks shows measurable improvements in liver enzymes and imaging studies that confirm fat reduction within liver cells. ALT and AST levels often decrease significantly within the first month, while ultrasound imaging may show progression from grade 3 to grade 2 fatty liver or from grade 2 to grade 1. These objective improvements provide motivation to continue the protocol while confirming that liver healing is progressing as expected. The first 2 weeks prove critical for breaking food addictions because processed foods and added sugars create neurochemical dependencies that must be overcome for successful recovery. High fructose corn syrup triggers dopamine release in brain reward centers similar to addictive substances, creating powerful cravings that can derail recovery efforts. Complete elimination allows these neurochemical pathways to reset while preventing the cycle of craving and consumption that maintains addiction patterns. Weeks 3 and 4 typically bring dramatic improvements in energy stability, mental clarity, and physical comfort as liver function restoration accelerates. Morning energy levels increase substantially as your liver restores normal glucose production and glycogen storage capacity. Afternoon energy crashes disappear as blood sugar regulation stabilizes, and liver fat mobilization provides steady energy throughout the day. Weeks 5 and 6 demonstrate the liver's remarkable regenerative capacity with improvements that often surprise people with their dramatic nature. Sleep becomes deeper and more restorative as liver detoxification cycles optimize during rest periods. Digestive function normalizes with improved bile production and reduced inflammation throughout the gastrointestinal system. Many people report feeling better than they have in years as liver function approaches normal levels and systemic inflammation decreases. This 6-week protocol works regardless of your current liver condition because the liver's regenerative capacity remains intact until permanent scarring occurs, providing hope for dramatic health improvements even in severe cases. Taking action now becomes critical as fatty liver disease rates continue climbing toward epidemic proportions. This condition affects 30% of Americans in 2025, but it remains completely reversible when you eliminate the right toxic substances from your diet. High fructose corn syrup, processed foods, liquid calories, fruit juices, and excessive green tea supplements overwhelm your liver's processing capacity and force immediate fat storage within liver cells. Your liver possesses remarkable regenerative abilities that activate immediately when these toxic foods are removed completely. Get tested now to determine your current liver status through ultrasound imaging and liver enzyme panels. Then eliminate these 5 food categories without exceptions. The liver can regenerate and restore normal function rapidly when given proper conditions for healing, often showing measurable improvements within weeks of dietary intervention.